Hello and welcome to another video. So I wanted to do a quick video on the migrant crisis. Now, a lot of interesting developments with this current crisis. It very much echoes the scenes of a similar sort of charging of the border with regard to in Europe, using Syrian refugees as a straw man for half of the third world to invade Germany, primarily perhaps Greece, Italy, a lot of countries on the Mediterranean coast there, and the news, because they generally support it, don't really update us too much. So for all we know, it could still be happening. But you can see like scenes in France and Bulgaria, and all over the conflicts are happening. They're inevitable because, Europe's basically been invaded. Germany has been changed very drastically. I wouldn't say it was over for Germany because this could sort of trigger a response from native Germans, but we'll see how it goes. But basically, these people didn't come in a huge caravan in Europe or in America just by chance. This was planned. This was obviously funded by, perhaps Soros, perhaps even Democrats, anyone on the left with a bit of money may well have put some in the kitty, because these people are arriving with trucks that have been clearly prepared to travel them as soon as possible, a long distance. The distance from South America to the border in San Diego and so on is a long way. But of course, they're going to get there if they keep moving every day. You see these trucks, they've often got little tunnels or, quite elaborate gating, like metal gating, where a family can hide inside. A few blankets, they're good things, sleep there. And travel through the night. And I've got a feeling there must be a very well organised people smuggling operation behind all this. They couldn't just break down the border of Mexico just like that. So there's definitely some dark force at work here.
What we do know is this whole thing cost millions and millions of dollars. And the mainstream media, and there's so many layers to this onion to peel back, it's hard to know where to begin. But one of the lies, the fake news, if you will, that the mainstream media is trying to propagate is the fact that this is all this weird, this organic thing, and all the water and the food and the medicine all dropped from manna from heaven. It's baloney. It's all highly organized. It's paid for by a number of organizations. We don't know exactly where the money is coming from. We do know that Pueblo Sin Frontera, which is the main group which is organized this caravan, has a couple of front organizations in the United States, and the money is flowing from them to Pueblo Sin Fronteras. We know there are some leftist groups. I know it's forbidden to say that Soros is part of it, but Soros has in fact funded at least some of those groups in the past. So we don't know where the money is exactly coming from. We know it's not coming from Honduras.
So why would, I mean, it's such an interesting and obvious question. Who's paying for this? Why haven't other news organizations gotten to the bottom of this? You're one man. You're doing this independently. Why isn't NBC News or ABC or PBS, why aren't they on this?
Oh, come on. You know the answer to that. They don't want to get to the bottom of it. They have no interest politically in getting to the bottom of it. It's the same reason why when you see a photo in the New York Times, the Washington Post, or a video in CNN or the BBC or MSNBC, what do you see? You see the entire framing are women and children, when the reality is so far from the truth. 90 to 95% of all the people who are in this caravan are men, although I do apologize for assuming their gender.
They're liars. That's the answer. That's why they're not reporting it in New York, because they are liars. I mean, thank you for that. That was valuable and really.
So the main factor is that these people are saying that they are fleeing poverty and violence in their home countries. Now, that's all well and good, but why not just stop at Mexico, or even perhaps head south to Argentina, which is one of the most wealthy nations in South America, or some parts of Brazil are definitely better than Honduras or Guatemala, which are very poor countries, and the natives mostly don't have much conquistador blood, and they're very crafty and cunning. They like to portray, with the help of the left-wing media, that think of the children, think of the mums, think of these weak people, but really the majority are young men, fighting-age men. They're carrying their own flags. I've heard them. I've seen them with banners saying Trump is racist in Spanish, etc. So, okay, well, whatever, But the point is, they're not saying we respect America. Another one I saw, there's painting on there saying peace and love in Spanish on the wall down at San Diego, but also an American flag turned upside down. They obviously have more sort of left-wing guerrilla type political leanings. They're as a crowd. None of these people will ever vote for Trump, should they be allowed in. They're no doubt Democrats, and yes, the Democrats have funded this so they can win votes. That's another factor.